Hello, everybody. My name is Puppet Boy, or yeah, well, that's it. That's what you guys know me as, and I am currently making this video on the 16th of August this year, and I am sitting here today to talk about two things mainly. The first thing I am talking about to lead into the second thing is I have always loved Pokemon. Pokemon is a great thing, and now while the newer games are a bit few and far between, even though they're still relatively good and I still have enjoyed them, but yet again saying that I'm a fraud and I have not fully completed a single Pokemon game on the Switch, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And another thing that I have never fully done when I was born around the time when 3DSs and stuff were getting made. So I was around before the Switch. And so the first Pokemon game that I ever had was Sun, and that was amazing. It was great. And I do though feel like I missed out on a lot, being I missed out on Gen 4, 5, and 6. I missed out on the Gen 3 remakes. I never played a Mystery Dungeon game. That's great as well. Um so and when I did play through Pokemon Sun and eventually got my Nintendo Switch, and when Pokemon Home was created, there was this great transition where they made this great app called Pokemon Bank, and I was able to take my legendaries and my important Pokemon to my Nintendo Switch. And so when I was playing Shield, because Shield is Shield's better, when I was playing Shield, I was able to use after I finished the game, I was able to use those legendaries that I had, and I really liked that because it was from the original game. They even had cool titles. It was great. And so Pokemon stated a while ago that Pokemon Bank is shutting down on February 26th, 2027. So, I was a little perturbed because a big thing that people who like Pokemon can do is they can make a thing called a living dex. And a living dex is just getting one of every Pokemon, and I think also depending on what you want to do, you could also get gender specifics if those change the Pokemon. I believe that's what it is. Um you could do that. And I wanted to make a living dex of every Pokemon. And so by looking at this, um, there is no problem here. I have a 3DS with Pokemon Bank. That's not the problem. The problem comes in me having to not transfer them. That's easy. The problem, I don't own a single Pokemon DS game or any game other than Sun. And the problem with me just owning Sun is I could play through all of Sun, get every Pokemon that I can available to me in Sun, and start that for the Living Dex. But the problem is that they made Ultra Sun, which has other, I believe, more Ultra Beasts, and I think maybe some other, they might have added Pokemon here and there. I don't fully remember, yet again, since I never played it. So, my goal that I am stating today, and as the reason for me making this video, is I want to be able to get every Pokemon game from Pearl, Platinum, Diamond, and all the way up to Ultra Sun and Moon. I want to find, and I will get all of those in between, and I will get the living dexes for those and put them on my Switch. And I do also have the things like Legends Arceus, and I want to fully play through that and complete that Pokedex. And which I know the Living Dex, the one that I was looking at, they just have a small box for Hisui Pokemon. So that's not a big deal, but I also just want to state that there are certain things that I have looked at in other Pokemon videos and things and that I am taking into account like mythical Pokemon. So, mythical Pokemon are they're in the Pokedex, so they count. The problem there is that a lot of them were, especially in the older games, they were distribution events. And so there comes in two things there that you have to look at. There is either injecting and homebrewing to inject the event into your 3DS, I believe. Is that how you do it? I don't know. There's that, and then there's other ways to get it, either by playing the newer games, because I haven't played the ZA DLC. I'm just gonna state that now. But apparently, like, I know Hoopa's in there, and I don't know what other mythicals. I saw that they put a long list of mythicals in there, but depending on the mythical, I am going to do whatever I can, whether that be me having a old Pokemon Go event that I never finished, or me finding a way to maybe get it on the older games. I want to do whatever I can in my power to complete as much as I can. So that is what I am going to be recording and putting out for as much as I can until Pokemon Bank shuts down. Now, and here's another caveat. If I want to go in order, we start with Kanto. Now, they did just make Fire Red and Leaf Green from the Game Boy. They just put those on the Switch. I don't want to do that, because I honestly, that would feel a little cheating to me. But in that same sense, I do have a DS Lite that can play Game Boy games. The problem there is I don't think I have Pokemon Bank on that, and I don't know if it does. And the eShop is sadly shut down because of Nintendo. So I am going to start with the Kanto Pokedex, and that is what I will record first. And I will be getting the Kanto Pokedex from Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. But just because I'm using that Nintendo Switch game, which is, I believe it's a remake, or it's a rehash of Gen 1. I am going to get, for the starting of this series, I am going to get the Living Dex for Gen 1, and I also might have to get the Mew from that old Scarlet and Violet event. I might have to put him in as the Mew for that. I am sorry in advance if that is how I do it. But I will be getting every single Pokemon in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and here's what I'm going to do. I am either going to make the entire Living Dex for Kanto because of Let's Go Pikachu. I'm going to get it shiny, including Mewtwo and the fossil Pokemon. Every annoying thing that is in Let's Go Pikachu, I will get them all shiny as easily as I can. And then I am going to get every single shiny I can. I'm doing that, and I'm either going to reset. No, I'm probably not resetting my data. I am going to take a new Nintendo Switch account. I'm gonna make a brand new account for this on my Nintendo Switch to do everything. I don't know what I'll name it currently, but I'm going to make a new account, and I'm going to restart Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Sword and Shield. I'm gonna restart all of those, and I'm going to get every single Pokemon that I can in those games. And for games that are remakes, I don't want to use them unless I have to. So if I will always put in a video, I will explain if I'm using a remake for something in specific, and I will explain why I'm doing that. Like, I believe, I don't fully remember this, and I don't fully know this because me starting my research has just started on this, because I'm just starting, and I'm starting extremely late with about 6 months until the deadline. So I believe this is going to suck a lot financially, or hopefully not financially. I'm going to do what I can to minimize the amount of money I have to spend on this, but knowing Pokemon resellers, it's gonna suck. So that is my goal today. I want to get as much Pokemon as I can between now and when Pokemon Bank shuts down to make a full Living Dex. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.